In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. All of our stress, all of our tension will vanish, and we will become a very productive person on the other end. On the one hand, all the mental stress will be gone. All the mental stress will be gone. On the other hand, we will become very active and we will become very energetic. Active and energetic, productive in another sense, not necessarily in the material, not necessarily in the material meanings, but we will become productive, we will become active, we will become energetic, we will become a very different human being. Only if only if we could only if we could understand one thing, only if we could understand one thing. Once I say understanding one thing, and it will simply eliminate the kind of mental stress we are undergoing. If at all we are feeling a sense of deprivation, this sense of deprivation will go away as well, and we will become a very active human being. We will try to make the time we are living a very useful and a very productive one. But this usefulness and this productivity does not necessarily mean that we will start producing and we will start accumulating the wealth and the other material goods, the mundane things, rather something different. Now, what is this one thing which we needs to understand actually? This one thing is that I am here only for a short span of time. I am not here forever. I shall never ever be able to live here forever. On the one hand, on the other hand, the time is passing very quickly, and I have got a very limited amount of time, and this time is passing and passing very quickly, and sooner I will be no more, because whatever I am possessing, whatever I am possessing, it is decreasing, it is melting with the passage of time, and the process does not stop, and does not stop even for a single second. Now, if at all we do come to know, if at all we do understand this one thing, let me tell you, let me assure you that on the one hand, all the mental stress we are having, the mental stress because I do feel deprived enough, because I do feel that the people have abused me, that the people have snatched certain valuable things from me, and for that reason I am weak enough, I am not strong enough, I am unhappy enough, I am not a happy human being, and all this sort of mental stresses will simply go away, and we will not be left with any of these things. But at the same time, we will become active enough, we will become energetic enough. Why shall we become so much active and energetic? Only because of one reason, and this one reason is that I do know that the time I do have in my hand, this time is melting, and melting very constantly, melting very steadfastly, and pretty soon all of this will be gone. And because the time I have is a very limited on the one hand, melting away on the other hand, slipping from my hands on the other hand, this actually means that the life I am living in, it is simply a kind of trial, well, and I am undergoing the trials, and this is the kind of examination, the kind of trial, and I am facing the trial. It is actually how do I face it, and how do well I encounter it, to what extent I am patient enough, to what extent I am tolerant enough, to what extent I refuse to become negative, to what extent I pledge to become a positive person, to what extent I pledge and I promise, I make a commitment to stay obedient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the one hand, on the other hand, I shall like to follow the sunnah of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. I think so. The life we are living in, this life is a very short one. It is not forever. None of us, and none of us is here forever. Even the people who consider themselves, who are considered as the most positive, most powerful people, as the people with the maximum amount of resources, all of these people too will not be able to live here, will not be able to live here forever. So, if at all these so called strong and powerful people, these so called the resourceful people, if at all they are not here forever, how come the people like me will be able to live here for a longer period of time? We do have to leave this world, and we do have to leave this world forever. I and we shall not be able to return to our houses, return to our businesses, return to our loved ones, return to the general public, and return to this world. We shall not be able to do it, not even for a single second. If this be the case, I think so whatever we are possessing does not remain very valuable one, except the time we are having, because the time is life, and all of us have got a very limited amount of time. That is why I said in the beginning, on the one hand we will be able to get rid of all sort of mental stress we are having, all sort of sense of deprivation we are having, and we are nurturing. And now, because we have come to know that the time in our hands is a very limited one, this actually means that we shall try to become a very productive human being, and a very productive human being indeed. Productive not necessarily in the material sense, but rather the productive actually mean that we people will try to do as much good as possible. On the other hand, we shall try to avoid as much possible the useless things will be avoided. We shall be doing our utmost to live our life according to the principles, according to the people of good character, according to the sunnah of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. I think so that all the stress we are having, all the sense of deprivation we are having will simply vanish away. Thank you. Jazakallah.